Imagine equipping a melee weapon so incredibly overpowered that the developers permanently ban your entire species from the server. Welcome back to Outside. Today we analyze the Smilodon, the most feared and specialized assassin of the Ice Age meta. This build dumped all of its stat points into massive upper body strength, completely ignoring stamina and agility mobility upgrades. The defining feature of this build was its pair of 8-inch canine teeth, functioning as dual armor-piercing kinetic daggers. However, to actually use these daggers, they had to unlock a specialized jaw mechanic, allowing a 120-degree mouth opening. Because their jaws opened so wide, the developers severely nerfed their base bite force to keep the game somewhat balanced. To compensate for a weak bite, they maxed out their grappling stats. Their front legs were heavily armored and heavily muscled. During the Ice Age patch, the server was dominated by massive, slow-moving tank builds like Mammoths and thick armored rhinos. There were also giant ground sloths everywhere. These heavy herbivores had massive health pools, but incredibly low mobility stats. The Smilodon utilized a pure stealth playbook. They would hide in the snowy terrain, waiting for a tank to approach. Once the target was in range, they would initiate a sudden ambush, relying entirely on explosive burst damage to win. They used their overpowered upper body strength to physically wrestle massive prey to the ground, applying total crowd control. Once the prey was immobilized, they delivered the critical strike. They drove their 8-inch daggers straight into the soft neck. This instant finisher mechanic bypassed the windpipe and severed massive blood vessels, draining the enemy's HP bar in seconds. It was an incredibly effective strategy, but it came with a massive risk. It was the ultimate high-stakes gamble. Those long teeth were devastating, but extremely fragile sideways. If the prey struggled and the tooth hit bone, it snapped. A broken tooth was a permanent debuff. Without their primary weapon, the player would slowly starve and eventually log out. But the ultimate nerf came from the developers themselves. They initiated a massive server wipe by changing the global climate. The temperatures rose, the ice melted rapidly, and the wide-open tundras were quickly replaced by incredibly dense green forests. Because the environment changed so drastically, the large, slow-moving tank builds like Mammoths completely despawned from the Earth server. The developers introduced a completely new meta. The server was suddenly flooded with small, lightweight, and incredibly fast-moving prey. This completely ruined the Smilodon build. Their heavy, muscular bodies drained their stamina instantly when trying to chase fast targets. In a dense forest, their long, fragile teeth became a huge liability, constantly getting caught or damaged on heavy roots. The game shifted to favor high-mobility builds. Animals like wolves and smaller wildcats were perfectly optimized for the forest. Wolves also utilized party mechanics, hunting in coordinated groups to drain prey stamina, totally outclassing the solo Smilodon strategy. The Smilodon was an over-specialized class. They built the perfect weapon for killing tanks, but the tanks were totally gone. Unable to catch the new fast prey and wielding weapons too clumsy for the forest, the entire species slowly perished. It proves that having the highest damage output means absolutely nothing if you refuse to adapt to the new patch. Which extinct animal build should we review next? Drop your favorite ancient builds in the comments section down below. Do not forget to smash that subscribe button to join our guild and dominate the Earth server together. See you